some file that I have done something. Okay, let me go over it again. So when we are talking about function is set of program that executes a task. The job of function is executing task, and in Excel we have different functions. So we are going to be looking at the important, the key detailed functions that are needed in Excel. So that's ones that are needed. Like this is the one I did. This is the one I did. I taught some of my scholars, and I think with this one we can. It will be easy for us to do something here. So what we are going to do here now is we need to be familiarizing ourselves with Excel tools here. When I mean Excel tools here, for instance, now we can see here we have students results. Okay, we have student results here, and we have the first one, which is the first CA. We have the second CA, we have the third CA, and we have the exam. So these yeah, so this is the profile. So how do you now calculate all this? Let's say you have like let's say you have 100 students, and you want to put the grade, like you want to do it like this. How do you do it that in such a way that you will not be stressing yourself over time, working on this over time? So that's where um your function comes in place and make things easy for you. Your function makes it easy for you to automate tasks. Now I want us to be doing it together. Um so this is what I'm going to do here now, but I'm going to start over it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to explain this part for you. Now we have first CA, we have second CA, we have third CA. First CA, second CA, and third CA. Now I want to get the sum of the first person, the first student. I want to get the sum of the first student. How am I going to do it? Now these are the names. These are the names of the students. So this is the first person here. We have David James. Now in David James have first CA, he has 7, 8. First CA 7, second 8, third 9, and exam 67. So we want to know the total. So how are we going to do it? Though you can use that your normal sum to do it. That one that is equals to then you now add all of them. You can do that one like that. You can do it like that. It's still fine. But in order for you to automate or auto tax this, so that you won't be stressing yourself too much, we use what we call the Excel function. The Excel function makes things easy for you. This is the formula for Excel function. Like this is my formula bar. This is Excel function. So we have equals to sum, then you now have e2. So how we are going to do it? So you just put this. I'm going to explain it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to explain. So this parts having green, highlighting green something here. This is the these are where you find the rows. Like I told you now, these are the rules. These are the rules of what you are adding. Like you are adding um all what you have here, because you want to know the number of the total number of each of them. So that is it. So the sum function, this is the formula for sum function. Then we have the average. This is the average function. So average function is equals to average, then you now put 12 over 13 and you now write it. Then what other function again? Then this other one, we are going to look at this other one. This other one is a bit complex, but I'll try as much as I can to make sure I digress everything in place. So this is how I want, this is how we are going to start it with. So let's see how we can start it like this, so that we can go over them over and over. Any question? If you are confused, you let me know. So I want to go over it. Let me go to that your work and go over it again. So let's save this. Let's rename this as student let's use results. So come here, we have number, so you have number, so you have names of students, so let's say this is ID number. Instead of writing number, then we have first CA, second CA, third CA. Then we have exam, we have total. So let's start with the first one. So let's say 001. This is the ID, or let me don't do it like this. Let's say 0011 001, so 130014. Okay. Or let's say 15, 16, So let's look at the names of the students. I can just form any name here. David Gray. Please, you can be doing what I'm doing here.
Okay.
So that we can be fast. So let's look at the first CA, random CA. Yeah, the CA is over 10.
Okay.
Yes, I'm picking any random CA here. Now the exam, let's say the exam is over 70. Okay. So how do we sum this now? How are we going to sum it? So that's where our function comes in place. So this is what we are going to do. To sum it, I'm going to have equals to sum. Are you seeing it? So you can see different sum here. We have sum ifs, we have sum product and the rest. But for now, let's go with sum. So when I put sum, this is how I'm doing my function. I'll put brackets. When I put a bracket, I'm summing the rows, not the column. So I'm summing the rows. Yes, I'm summing the rows, like the rows. These are the rows. The rows. So how am I going to do it? Unlike that time, we will just say, we'll just pick each column and multiply or add them. But in this situation, we are not doing it like that. We are going to automate this task using the sum function. So the sum function makes it easy for us. So I'm going to do it equals to sum, open bracket. Then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click this part. When I click here, I'm not just clicking here, then I will now highlight all of them here. Do you get it?
Okay.
I will highlight all of them here. Then when I highlight all of them here, then I will now close my brackets. When I close the bracket, this is the function, this is the sum function, then I enter. So this is what I have. Any question?
Can you do it again?
Okay.
Okay.
Let me do it again.
Okay.
Let me do it.
Wait, hold on. Go do it again. I didn't get that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So let's go over it again. This is what it is. For me to do, initially I used to do equals to. Then I will now bring this. Then I will now say plus. I will now come here.
Yeah.
So that process is still fine, it's still okay, but it is not all the time. So it is better you automate this task. Like automate means like just make things easy for yourself. The sum function makes it easy for you fast without wasting time. So what you will just do here, you just bring your sum function here and open your brackets. When you open your brackets, this is how the sum function is equals to sum, open brackets. You come here, you click at this. When you click at this, you see something like this rotating around the cell part. Then what you will now do is you will now highlight on all these parts. When you highlight on all these parts, now what you will now do later on is to close the bracket. Now what you are trying to tell Excel is that Excel, please sum everything that is in this cell. Sum everything that is this cell and give me the total of each of the students. So this is what Excel is going to do. Then when you do it this way, you now press enter. In your keyboard, there's enter there. You press enter, and this is the total. So you are seeing 90 here. Any question?
That's okay. I understand it.
So that's just. You said?
No, I'm just calculating it. It's
okay. Okay, it's fine. So that's just how to go about it. Then the next process now. Okay, what if you want to get the sum of? Okay, let me do it again so that you understand. Let me do it again. Now I want to do for the second person, Samson, Paulson. I want to do for this person. So what I'm going to do here is equals to. When I press equals to, I'll press sum. Then I will now press my bracket. When I press my bracket, I'll click here. When I click here, what's next?
expand these cells.
Then I will now enter.
Press enter.
Yes. Are you seeing it?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's just how to do it. Have you done it?
Okay, so I've done it.
Did you got it right?
I've done it, but I just wanted to do the second one. Yeah.
Okay, you can do the second one.
Okay for me. Okay.
Do the second one. Let's see.
So now, okay.
No, you can ask your question.
Do you now do it for each row like that?
No, I'm just doing. No, I just did the second one so you understand it better. Normally, if I do it for the first one, I will just do the necessary task. I will just do it like I'm just doing the second one so that you understand the process.
Okay.
Now this is what I'm going to do here. Then when I click here, I will just um, highlight everything on. I will now do everything all together. So this is what I believe you know this process now.
Yeah, I know that.
So you just do it down so that you won't be stressing yourself. So now let's go to the average. How do I do my average? How do I do my average? So I have equals to average. So you can even see it. So average is a function. Then I'll now come here. Then I will. Now what is average? In mathematics, what is average?
Dividing by the sum of
The total.
numbers.
Good. That's the when you are dividing
Like
the
the mean.
when you are dividing the
Yeah.
total by the mean.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's average. So I will now click on my total here. So when I click on my total, then I will now put this divided by how many um how many based on the CA, okay, and based on the
Yeah.
number of students. Okay, let's leave the number of students for now. We'll look at the average for the number of students based on the CA. How many CA does each student have? So we have about 3 CAs, right? So I want to get the average of that CA. Want to get the average of that CA, that is excluding exams. So I'll just put over 3. Then I'll now close the brackets. Then when I do it like that,
Yeah.
I'm going to do enter. So I have 30. So these students have average of 30. He has average of 30. So let's now see how we can go about it. Then I'll now highlight everything. As I highlight, I'll now drag everything down. So this is the average for each student. Any question?
Okay. No.
So that's just it. So since we have gotten this now, what if we want to know the number of students? Like we want to know how many students are there. How many? So there's what we call count function. So count. So you are going to use your count function to know how many students are here. How many students are here? So let's see how it's going to be. So I will say equals to count. Then I'll put open brackets. When I put open brackets, how many persons are here? So I will just put this one. How many persons are here? That's count. So and what number is the person? That's the job of count. So I will now put this. So you can see now this is 1. So if I had drag this down, so you can see 1 1 1 1 1. So that shows that each of all the persons here, they are about 1 1 1. But that situation, it will not go that way. It will not go that way because the count is like the number of each student, the number of each student. So let's see if we can do it this way. We can say count so you can see now you're seeing something like 0 here, right? This 0 here now is telling you that there's nothing here, and even if you highlight, you see 0 0 0 0. So this count is based on um, the, like, we use count in getting the number of, is used to get the ID or number of every text. That's what we use count for. Do you get it?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just go back. So let's just go back to the normal one, which is this. So let's do it. So know that all of them, they are, we count them as one. So we just say equals to count. Then I'll just click here and close the brackets. So I know that all of them is one. So that's it. Then let's now say the next thing, which we call the we have the minimum and the maximum. What if you want to get the minimum student and the maximum student? How are you going to do it? So minimum, you have minimum here.
Okay.
So minimum, we have function for minimum. So we have equals to minimum. So I'm not going to say minimum. I think I'm going to say min. I won't write minimum. I will write min. So minimum of what? Minimum of how the total of the students, or the average of the students. So we want to know among them their minimum. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Like the minimum.
The minimum of the student.
Yes, somebody that have the lowest.
I don't understand that part.
The minimum means the lowest.
Okay, the lowest. Okay.
Yes, the lowest student, the lowest number of so that's the minimum. Or I can, no, I won't, I shouldn't do it here. It will confuse you. Let me remove this part here. I can do it here. Let me do it somewhere here. I will just say minimum. So if I say minimum, I will put my function here equals to min. Then I'll open my brackets. So minimum of how many students? The total. So we can say the total of all of them. So we want to get the minimum. We want to know the minimum of each student. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to highlight also that I'm telling the Excel to give me the minimum of all this total here. So Excel is doing it for me. Yes. So I will now close my brackets, then enter. So you can see now the minimum here is 20. The minimum here is 20. As the person that has 20 total, which is Dirac Samson. So Dirac Samson is the lowest person. Same thing if you want to get your maximum. If you want to get your maximum, you just use the same formula, which is equals to max. You open now you're not going to say maximum, you just say max, so that it will be easy for you. Then you open your brackets and you highlight everything in your total. So I'm going to have, and so you can see now the maximum here is 19, which is David Gray. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So that's just it for minimum function. Any question?
Yeah. So far.
Okay. So have you done it?
Yes, I've done.
Okay. So that's just it. So let's now see how we can get the average for the total number of students here. I want to get the average for the total. No, on this one now, I'm getting the average for the subject. So I want to get the average of the total number of students and the total of each of them. So if I want to get the total of each of them here, like the total of each of them here, of the frequency. So how am I going to do it?
So are you going to add everything?
Yes,
Or
yes,
no?
yes, total means
Okay.
sum, yes. So how am I going to add all of them?
So equals to the sum.
Okay,
And then bracket, if I'm correct. I don't know if I'm right.
no, you are correct.
Of the and I don't know that part now.
Okay, so if I put sum, I'm not going to come here. That's
So the
sum. What are
animal.
you summing? That's the meaning.
Okay.
I'm not summing like this. I've done this part already.
Okay.
I've done
Yes.
this part. So I am summing the total of everything here. Let me know how many there are. The total number
Okay.
of their because as a teacher is very important to know the total number of what each of your students has. You need to know.
Oh,
So I will now come
okay.
here and just do it like this.
Okay.
Then when I do it like that, then I will now close the brackets, enter. So you can see, so I have total number of 479 marks. That's the total number of what each student got. Watch all the
Okay.
sorry total number of what all the students got. I have it as 479.
Okay.
So now I can do the same thing for my average. So what would I do in my average?
So it's the same as the equals the sum of
No, average, for
the.
that of average.
Oh, okay. The okay average of
Yes.
the the amount, the number of averages there,
So
and then put the
okay.
okay.
Um
If I,
okay.
is that
No, you are right, but in average, this is what I'm going to do. In average, this is what I'm going to do. No, average, we have total number of students now. And how many students are there?
yes already?
How many students are there? We have 10 students, right?
Yes.
So we are going to for me to get the average now, it's going to be the total number of students divided by the number, that's the mean divided by each number of students. What I'm trying to say is that the total number of students is everything we have here.
Okay.
Then we now divide it by 10, because the number of students
Like
here,
that.
yes, the number of students here is 10. Then I'll close the brackets, then I'll have this. Oh, sorry, let me do it again.
Okay.
it's not going like it's not going that way. Okay. Okay, it will not work like that. Okay, so see what I will, there's no need of doing that. It will not work like that. So see what I will just do. I can still do it since I've gotten my total. No need of stressing myself. I can say my average. Um, Open brackets. What I have here, which is 479. 479 divided by 10.
Okay.
So this is what I have. So the total average for all the students is 47.9. 47.9. That's the average. Any question?
So, so the average now is the total number of the students, which is 479 divided by 10.
Yes, by 10. By the number of students, yes.
By the number of students, sorry.
Yes,
The
yes.
total. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the average. That's the average. Any question?
No.
So this is the main thing you need to know in Excel. Now, we still have others. We have VLOOKUP function, but that one is a bit advanced. We are going to do that one later on, not now. We have VLOOKUP function. We have XLOOKUP function. We have concat. Those ones are bit. So I don't want to dive into doing those ones for now. I just want to take my time. Just want to take my time to be explaining this. Now, since you have understood this now, let's now go to introduction to our conditional statements. Let's look at introduction to conditional statement. What is the meaning of conditional statement? Conditional statement means when you are now the way computer is being programmed to be. Computer is just a machine or set of tools that is being controlled. You control the computer. So that's the reason why computer cannot do without data. You need to give it data so that it can perform its function. What I'm trying to say is that the way the computer understands, the way the language the computer understands, we call it logical operation. The computer is built in a way that it understands in logic. So what you'll be doing is you will be automating your tasks. You'll be doing your tasks. That task that you are doing, you are making it easy for the computer to understand. Now, what the computer knows is yes or no. What the computer knows is true or false. The computer doesn't know any other thing. So you as a data analyst, you will be the person you will be the one to be manipulating. You will be the one manipulating the data set to the computer so that the computer will know how to arrange its set. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is the introduction to if condition. That's the conditional statement. That's where we look at the conditional statement. Now the conditional statement here is that okay, this is the result. Now I want to explain this, like I want to interpret this so that people can understand. In results, once you see something like this, you are supposed to see teachers' remarks. Like teachers' remarks. What is the remark from the teacher? Is it that the student failed the grade, or is it that the student passed the grade? I don't know that you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you want to get the remarks. And how do you get the remarks? Now, for you to get the remarks, you use your if conditional statement to interpret that so that you get the remarks of the individual. So let's say remarks. So I want to get the remarks here. So me getting the remarks, I'm going to use what we call the if conditional statement. So how do I do that? I'm going to say equals to if.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
IF.
Yes, if.
Okay.
Yes, so that's why we call it if conditional statement. Now, the if conditional statement here now is that, okay, we have the pass mark of the each student. The pass mark, let's say the pass mark is 50. The pass mark is 50. So if the student scores um below 50, that means that the student has failed the exam. Am I making sense?
Yes.
If the student scores below 50, that means the student has failed the exam. If the student scores above 50, that means the
1
student.
minute.
Oh,
Sorry, 1 minute.
all right.
Okay. You can go ahead.
Okay, so let's proceed. So I have my if
Just the top.
statement. So my if statement now is I'm explaining the conditional terms. So I'm going to have equals to if, then I'm going to have it as open brackets. Then if I have open brackets, I want to know which one is pass, I want to know which one is fail. I want to know which one is pass. So what I'm going to do here, open bracket, then I'll now click here. Then if I do here now, if I click here now, the next thing is that if it is less than like I say 50 is the pass mark. If it is less than 50, the students failed the exam. If it is greater than 50, the student passed the exam. So I will do this greater than. I can just put my statement 50. Now we call this argument. So you are bringing an argument to the statement. Then you have comma. Then I'm not going to put this. I'm not going to write pass.
Okay.
Then I close my brackets. So you can see it pass. Any question?
No. Let me do this one.
All right.
And okay.
Okay. Have you done it?
Yes.
So you got it right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is just it. So I believe you know the next stage I will do here now. So I will just drag all of them together. So you can see. But now the issue now is that I'm seeing false. Now, like I told you, what the computer understands is true or false. The computer is built in logical operation. The computer don't know any other thing. It's just any other argument. It's either it is true or it is false. So what we have done, what we have seen here is that the computer is interpreting false here. But we don't want it to be like that. Assuming as you do this now and you print out the result and give it to the parents of the kids, and they are seeing false in the remark, it sounds somehow, right? Like the parents will be like, which one is false again? How will my child be scoring false? So it sounds somehow. So in order for you to avoid such drama, like you want to know people that failed the exam. So in order for you to do that, you just come here and you come to your argument. When you come to your argument, you have this comma. Now you continue again. You now have brackets. Brackets what? Fail. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So when you do it like this now, you are not trying to tell the computer that, oh, I don't want you to interpret false. Please interpret it as fail. Then you enter. Then you click here. Are you seeing it now?
Okay.
So that is how it is done. So when you do it this way, now here you now know people that passed your exam and people that failed the exams. Is that clear? Any question?
No.
Okay, so I think that's it for this one. Hopefully in our next class we are going to look at IFS function. IFS, that's under conditional statement. We just did introduction to conditional statement. So hopefully in our next class we'll look at IFS statement. What if you have plenty or multiple arguments? You have multiple arguments and you want to interpret those functions. You want to interpret those functions, those argument functions. How do you do that? So for us to sort that issue out is to use our IFS function. Any question?
No. Thank you.
All right, so hopefully our next class, that's what we'll be looking at. Then we'll now start data visualization as fast as possible. Maybe we might even do data visualization next class, so that
Okay.
we'll be rounding up the stage 1 class. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful. All right, take care.
Weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. You too.
Yeah.